Alright, I'm back. Jeez Louise, that was loud. Oh, please stop doing that. Sorry. It's kinda hard, though. We're basically in a void. Whatever. Now, where the heck have you been for the last 2 days? Okay, it was barely 37 hours, alright? I calculated.
Bruh. You serious?
Anyways, I was actually at the library studying the musical theater industry in the late 20th century. Mostly the musicals from the mid to late 70s. Of course we got the library, so natural. Excuse me? Yeah, you heard what I said. But still, why did you have to go to the library just to read about the 70s? You already took notes on everything else. Okay, Sparkle, I know about the notes we took, but that was about the history of musical theater in general. On topic, though, the 70s had a very high demand for musicals. They were all about pushing the limits, so everything was on a much larger scale. Emphasis was on the concepts, or ideas. Okay, yeah, like you said, we already learned that in the notes. What did you actually learn in the library? And what for? Well, it was for them. The camera guy? No, it's not the camera guy. You know exactly who he is. It's actually for the class. Anyways, back on topic. One of the musicals that came out in the middle of the 70s was Angel Street. It was a revival of the 1930s and 40s musical Gaslight. Angel Street was part of the setting, though, being the street where the Manninghams live. It's about Jack Manningham trying to cover up his shady past, while Bella, his wife, is being driven insane by him. After losing her mind, Bella soon discovers that Jack apparently committed a murder 15 years ago in the exact same house that they were living in, and now she must gather evidence to prove that he's guilty. It demonstrates more or less a theme of thinking after something thought-provoking, hence the original title of Gaslight. When Bella gets suspicious of Jack, he accuses her of being petty. Bella really seems to fight with her mind. She's probably right, but Jack says she hides it for her own good. The musical's concept of gaslighting displays what it can do to relationships, like how Bella lost her previous relationship. He died from insanity, and the mixed views of her husband after listening to the locals, and how Jack was hiding the fact he killed someone 15 years ago. For these next two sections, I'm gonna have someone else take over. Oh, Mr. Robot Guy?
Thank you, Stella. Sorry, but the child is too lazy to actually record these, so you're stuck with me.
Excuse me?
Deal with it. Anyways, another musical of the late 70s was An Almost Perfect Person. It was a bit of a comedic/social commentary in 1977, and it brought back an undertone from the 60s being propaganda, hence the term commentary. It stars Irene Porter, a widowed Democrat mother in a campaign against an aging male Republican rival for a New York congressional seat. After losing, Irene turns to her campaign manager, Dan, and treasurer, Jerry, for emotional support and comfort, causing both men to fall for her. Now she must struggle with her own idea of a liberated woman. Unfortunately, this musical is controversial for having a severe lack of depth between characters, giving it the unfortunate side effect of being an obvious social commentary. It unfortunately makes the characters boring husks that just reenact the whole show rather than discovering something about themselves, and it dumps them down. Irene and Dan seem to be pretty good paired, making it a very one-sided love triangle. Jerry is more or less just comedic relief to laugh at rather than with, making Irene's choice an obvious one. Nothing really changes for them other than that one wasn't chosen for the relationship. No play on the concept of men and women's roles other than it being stated. Finally, Sweeney Todd in 1979 is about Todd, an unjustly exiled barber returning to 19th century London to seek revenge on the judge who framed him and ravaged his young wife. His vengeful path leads him to Mrs. Lovett and her failing pie shop and opens a new barber practice with the given resources. Mrs. Lovett has a shift in luck from Todd's bloodthirst and integrates the secret ingredient into her meat pies, getting London's population lining up for their unfortunate carnage. A very strong emphasis on the concept of insanity from being fueled by vengeance, hate and malice. Even with the dark story, it shifts away from the usual boy gets girl to boys and girls losing each other, whether outside forces, bad luck, or themselves. As a robot, I don't understand how you natural life forms judge these or what appeal you get from them, but now, I've finished my job of filling in for your pathetic excuse of a host. I'm out of here and hope to never return unless it's for the robot apocalypse. See you never, unless I succeed in world domination.
Stellar, he was so rude. Yeah, I know. I just don't know what to do with him. I got an idea. Oh dear.